Here's an XFX3 preset that bakes in some of my favorite rack-inspired delay tones. I've been doing loads of videos on old rack gear over the course of this whole year. I've also been doing a series on how I dial in delay, so I figured it would be a great excuse to slam them all together. I've done a clean version and a dirty version of this preset. I'll post both up, but I'm just going to show off the dirty version of the preset with all the gain. We're using the USA Lead mid gain with an IR that I made of my Marshall cabinet with 4 greenbacks. I used 3 different mics on this one, an SM7, an MD421, and a Royer 121. This is the core amp tone with my PRS in drop C. It sounds like this. So, like I said, all the gain. Let's get straight into this and start with the 2290 delay mode. This is a standalone effect type in the delay block. What I've done is I've connected it in parallel after the amp and the cab. So I've set the mix to 100% and the bypass mode to mute effects in. The level control here is going to control how loud the delays are. The 2290 is interesting in that the right side or the right channel is phase reversed. So you get this like too wide to be stereo kind of sound. In fact, if you listen in mono, you won't actually hear any delay. So make sure you're listening to this in stereo. It's a huge psychoacoustic effect. And other than that, it's just a straight up quarter note delay, 30% feedback, bit of modulation, you get this. Really cool sounding delay. There's also some ducking happening because the 2290 was originally billed as a dynamic delay. It was one of the first delay units, if not the first, to ever have that feature in there. You can turn the ducker off if you just want to soak in all that glorious delay though. What a great way to start. Let's look at scene 3 over here. This one I can't really take credit for. I got these 2 multi-tap blocks off the forum. I think the user called Guitar Nerds Wii. They copied the settings from the Lexicon PCM90, the famous or infamous pan and circular delay settings, depending on how you look at them, as used by Steve Lukather. Let's just fire this one straight up. That one's just amazing when you're playing in stereo and you're playing loud. It just kind of swims around you. It's like the ultimate delay and reverb hybrid without being either one, if that makes any sense at all. Anyway, that is the PCM70 style delay on here. Scene 4 is a 12-bit delay. I've used the vintage digital delay. I've set the bit reduction to 12 bits, and there's a bit of modulation, just a little bit, and I've set this one up so that the core time is at about 400 milliseconds, and I've offset the right channel by about 50 milliseconds. So you get this really kind of big wide delay. This one sort of reminds me of like, you know, mid to late 80s George Lynch or Steve Vai. I tried to kind of set it up like the Roland SDE3000. I can't remember which is which, the Roland SDE or the Korg SDD. Anyway, this is what it sounds like. I could play with that one all day, but you already knew that. The next mode is emulating the dual delay in the Yamaha SPX90. It's got a kind of interesting structure with its delay taps, so I had to use the 10 tap delay to copy it perfectly. Basically, the first delay is 375 milliseconds, and then each of these times here determines how long it is between the next delay repeat that you hear. So I've kind of set it up again for a dotted eighth note, quarter note feel, but the dual delay algorithm in the Axe FX is a little bit different to the SPX90, but the 10 tap does it. Little Easter egg in here as well is I've included the Yamaha SPX90 symphonic settings in here, so you can use both together, and this one is just ridiculous. You can, of course, combine this symphonic setting with any of the other scenes on here. So play around with that one. It's really fun. It's also really nice on the clean version of the preset. Scene 6 is based around or inspired by the classic Eventide H3000. It is a set of detune delays, but I'm using 4 voices here. So 11 cents on either side on one pair of voices, and then 8 cents on the other. Then there's a quarter note and a dotted eighth note, again, I know, and then a very short offset with these other voices. So you get this. You could definitely tweak this to kind of do the EVH balance error tone on there, but I like the way this is set up. This is just kind of my favorite set of settings. Then the last 2 scenes aren't specifically based around old rack units. Scene 7 is my attempt at copying the delay tones from the Strymon Dig, which is maybe my favorite delay pedal ever. And the Dig is trying to emulate old rack delays. So I use the multi-tap delay. You get this tone. Something like that. Anyway, the final scene is something like that. Anyway, the final scene uses 2 multi-tap delay blocks. It's kind of inspired by that earlier circular delay scene, but I call this a pyramid delay. So what's happening is we're going to have the shortest delay out the widest and the quietest, and then the next shortest delay is going to be out on the other channel, a little bit louder, a little bit longer, and then our delays will all get slightly longer. There's 8 of them, and they're all going to slowly pan in and get louder as well. So they kind of do this. It makes a pyramid. Take a look at the settings if you don't believe me, and have a listen to this. super, super cool. I probably could have done that with the 10-tap delay, but I like the way I can pan things a little easier with the multi-tap. I did say there was a clean version of this as well that I will post up. I'll put the IR up as well. Thanks so much for listening all the way through the video and indulging me as I just kind of whittle away and, you know, bust out all my 80s shred chops. But these presets are so much fun to play. I really enjoyed putting them together, and I hope you enjoy using them, and hopefully you get inspired to take these and make them your own and, you know, come up with some cool sounds, share them with everybody else who's using an Axe Effects. That's kind of the beauty of this magic box. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you all next time. Stay excellent.